Welcome back. In this video, I will be discussing the procedure for creating a three-dimensional aircraft wing. So first, let me go to the Google website. Here I have opened the different types of aircraft wings, and right now in this video, I will be explaining the procedure for creating a rectangular wing. Most commonly, you must have observed that the commercial aircrafts or airliners will be having this particular wing, which is a swept back wing. You can see that there is an angle of deflection or angle of sweep, we can call it. But for this type of wing, there is no sweep. The wing is in the form of rectangular shape if you are looking from the top view. So this kind of wing is called as rectangular wing. And especially this kind of wings are found in aircrafts which are very smaller in size. For example, Cessna aircrafts or small two-seater aircrafts, those kind of aircrafts will be having this kind of wings. And let us try to use the procedure, let us try to use the extrude command for creating this particular wing. Now, before beginning, I will also want to add a point over here that I have already explained the procedure for creating an aerofoil. I have said you that aerofoil is the cross section of a wing. So if we are cutting the wing at some section, you will be having an aerofoil shape. So different aircraft wings will be having different aerofoils, and the procedure what I have shown you to create an aerofoil was with respect to a symmetric aerofoil. But right now I want to explain you the procedure for creating a three-dimensional wing with a non-symmetric aerofoil having some difference in the thickness on the upper and the bottom side, and also change in the camber. So I'll just direct myself to different website, and in the Google home screen I can just type airfoil dimensions, and if we are going down, you will be having a website called as aerofoil tools. So this is an open website, and here you will be having all the database of different aerofoils. So whatever aerofoil you're wanting to work on, or you want to research or make a project, you can just directly go to the website and you can download the aerofoil coordinates, because coordinates are the most important thing for creating an aerofoil. So I'll just show you an example over here. I will be considering a simple aerofoil, which is NACA 4-digit aerofoil. And let me just try to consider 2414 aerofoil. And on the right hand side, you will be having different formats of the files which we can download and use for utilizing the coordinates of this particular aerofoil. So I will be clicking on this particular format, the LED Nicer format. Now I have that particular format opened over here in another tab. So you can see there are plenty of coordinates available over here. So in the earlier example, when I was discussing about the spline, or when I have created the aerofoil using the spline, in that particular case, the upper curve and the lower curve of the aerofoil were same, and the name of the aerofoil was a symmetric aerofoil. So I have to utilize the same coordinates, the upper coordinates, for both of the surfaces, that is the upper surface and the lower surface. So it was something similar to this particular symmetric aerofoil. But right now, in my case, the airfoil what we are going to create right now, or the wing what we are going to create right now, will be a non-symmetric aerofoil having a camber, having a difference in the camber on both the surfaces, the upper and the lower surface. So right now I have to copy this particular coordinates, and this is the upper coordinate, and these are the bottom or the bottom surface coordinates. So you can see the negative sign indicates that they are lower surface. So let me just copy this thing and open a notepad file. I'll just paste over here, and I will save the file as upper curve. Now I'll just show you how to import it. First, I have saved them as a normal notepad file, but you can see that when we are opening as a notepad file, the file will not be displayed in Creo Parametric. Let me open Sketch at first. So I'm creating a local coordinate system. So as per the same procedure, I'm just keeping it 1. The reason why I'm keeping the distance from the leading and the trailing edge as 1 is because you can see the coordinates. We have the largest coordinate to be 1 unit. So we have to maintain this particular thing, and later we can change the dimensions in Creo itself. So coming back to Creo. So just remember that I have saved the aerofoil in my desktop, and now I will not be able to find it according to my knowledge. So I have file, select the coordinate, go to browse, desktop. See, you will not be able to find the coordinate file because Creo is trying to look for .pts files. So we have to convert the notepad file into PTS file. So before converting, we have to follow a simple procedure. We have to align the coordinates neatly, and we have to add a z coordinate which is equal to 0. So for that, I'll just minimize the Creo. I have an Excel file with me. So in Excel file, I'll just go to data. From data, I'll go to from text, and I will browse the file over here, and I'll open it in Excel. So let me go to desktop, and here I can find the text file or the notepad file which I have saved in the desktop. I will click on the file and click import. So it will take little time, and it will try to display the coordinates. So this is the latest version of Excel. In the old versions, like this 2016 or 2013 and all, you will be directly getting the coordinates over here. In the latest versions, you'll be getting this window. So you just have to click on load, and you can find all the dimensions on the left hand side. Yeah. So after this, you have to go back to the data again, and you can select the column. One thing you can observe over here, that both the x and y coordinates are in a single column. So we are trying to split the columns into 2 columns because we want a separate column for x coordinates and a separate column for the y coordinates. So that is the reason I'm just trying to import it into the Excel. So right now I'll just highlight this particular thing, and I'll go to from text to columns. I'll just click on next, and here I have to select space. So you can see the moment I'm clicking space, I'm getting a division lines. So I have to press next right now and just click on finish. So you can see that the coordinates are split it into 2 columns right now, but we have a problem in the first 2 lines. So we can just delete them, and we can add 0 and 0, and I will delete the A column. Now let me add X over here as the heading, Y over here, and Z, and we have to add the Z coordinates. So I have added the Z coordinates. Now select all the numericals and add the decimal points so that they are neatly aligned. So I have added 4 points after the decimal, and let me just align them into the center. So I have aligned my data very neatly. Now I can just select the numericals. So mind you, this is the upper curve. I'll just copy it, and I'll go back to the file what I've saved. So this was the text file what we had earlier, and I'll just select all and delete them. Now I'll copy the coordinates, and you can see I have all the coordinates which are neatly aligned. So I have missed the X, Y, and Z. Let me select everything again and delete the coordinates. Now I have to save it. So this is the most important point right now, saving the notepad file in .pts format. So you just have to click on save as. When you're selecting the save as type, you will not be having any PTS format over here. So how do you do it? You can just do it by retyping this particular name over here. So I'll just save the file in the same name again, but I have to open an inverted comma and type upper curve dot pts. So this is the format what I'm wanting, and let me close the inverted commas. So now I believe we can try to find this particular file from the Creo, and I'll just save it in the desktop. So I have saved it. Let me minimize the Excel and go back to Creo, and let me try to search right now. You can see right now the PTS file is available. So in this way we have created the upper curve. In the similar way I will be creating for the lower curve right now. So I'll just minimize this, go back to the browser. We have the points over here. So there is a difference, there is a distance between both the points, both the set of points, which is required for us to understand the lower and the upper curves. So I'm just copying this again. I'll open another notepad file. I'm saving it as a simple text file. Lower curve. Now go back to Excel. You can open a different sheet. You can go to data, from text. Select the lower curve right now and click on import. Load. You have the coordinates available which are accumulated in a single column, that is column A. So my objective right now is to divide the column into two. So I have to go back to data again, select the total column and click on text to columns. After which I have to select next and see that the space option is ticked, because this will help us divide the coordinates into two columns. I'm clicking on next right now and finish, as simple as that. So I have the file, or I have the coordinates separated, but there is a problem in the first line. So let me delete the first two lines and retype the first coordinates 0 and 0. Apart from this, I will delete the A column and type X, Y and Z. So let me add the coordinates of Z axis and align them. Select the numerical values and add the decimals. So I have added 4 decimals earlier for the upper curve, so I'm following the same convention right now. Now the last point is to select all the coordinates, copy them and open the lower curve. Select the earlier coordinates, just delete them and paste the new coordinates. So you can see that all the coordinates are aligned equally with a single tab distance. Click on save as. We have to select the total name, open the inverted commas, lower curve dot pts and click save. So I have saved it in the desktop. Now let me close the notepad file and see whether I'm able to find the coordinate. So this is the lower coordinates. So I'm creating a lower spline. Go to file, select the coordinate system. I hope, yes. So I got the lower curve points as well. So let me go back to the part module right now and let us create the extrusion of an aerofoil, which is a rectangular wing, in the next video.